Interest rates rising, Bitcoin breaking the $60,000 ceiling. Does it have the potential to hit $1 million per coin? And will we in the near future be buying homes with crypto? And as for San Diego, we ranked 5th hottest market in the nation, but how is this sustainable with the cost of living? I just paid $11 for a veggie burrito the other day at a taco shop. For real? $11? This is your market report. I'm Carl Kyler, your San Diego realtor. Let's jump into it. We had a lot of national reporting come out for this month of January, which is typical. It takes about a month for these companies to get all the data, interpret it, and then publish the narrative that they want to promote. The National Association of Realtors, NAR, reported that home sales rose about 3.1% nationally in the month of January, while Case-Shiller, another popular data collecting organization, reported that they saw 7 months of all-time highs, showing 8.9% gain in the month of December, again, nationally. And get this, Realtor.com posted that the national active inventory is up 17.8% year over year, and new listings are up 11.9% year over year. Wow, that sounds like a lot of inventory considering how much of the housing crisis it seems everyone is in, as per all the news. Isn't this kind of interesting? We see on the news all the negative stuff, how inventory is down, the lack of affordability here in San Diego County. And then we see here in Realtor.com, they're posting inventory is up almost 20% nationally, but we're still down 40% from 2019. A 10 to 20% increase in inventory is great, but we do not want to mislead the consumer. This may give a false sense of hope as to what's really going on in the market. Some people may think, oh, inventory's up 10 to 20%. Let me wait this out. The market's crashing. That's why you see so many people posting on YouTube about an impending market crash. The fact of the matter is that we're far from that. At the end of all of this, if we compare these numbers to 2019, pre-pandemic, we are still almost down 40% in comparison. And in 2019, that was a hot market then as well. So we're making a comeback, but damn, it's taken a while. As for the average market time nationally, it is coming in around 33 to 36 days, meaning that homes are on the market for 33 to 36 days before accepting an offer. This is very reasonable. Buyers are still motivated to buy and at the same time are being more conservative with the process of finding the right home and making the decision to move forward to purchase. So nationally, we're seeing inventory come up some and sales are improving as well. From a volume perspective, this is hopeful. Despite interest rates where they are, consumers are still buying, but these elevated interest rates are keeping prices under control, and it's exactly what the Fed wanted. This kind of begs the question, if values are staying under control and still going up, but very slowly, what need is there for the Feds to actually drop rates? Fannie Mae actually reported recently that they're expecting rates to be in the 5% range by the end of this year, and very established 5% ranges next year. But why would the Feds need to bring interest rates down if values are continuing to grow at a very slow rate? If we drop rates, more buyers are going to enter the market because they can qualify now. That's going to drive values up again. Now we're back to the same issue with inflation that we had last year. So let's jump into San Diego details that make sense of all of this and relevant. For the month of February, we saw a slight increase in inventory of new listings coming to market. We had about 2,200 homes come to market in comparison to a little over 2,000 homes this same time last year. A very slight increase, but this is to be expected with the interest rates the way they are. Homeowners are challenged to sell their homes where they have a 3 to 4% interest rate to buy a new place at a 7% interest rate. As long as this goes on, we can expect inventory to be limited to some degree. Homeowners just can't afford to sell. As for our sales volume, pretty close to minimal there. We closed February out with about 1,700 closings. In comparison to February of 2023, we had a little over 1,600. It's about a 4% increase in the number of closed sales. It's good to see more sales, but with this being slightly lower than the increase in inventory, at this level it's not important, but something to take note of. If inventory continues to increase at about 10%, while sales trail 3 to 5%, then within 6 to 9 months, we may have a more inventory-friendly market for buyers. Now, to be very clear, inventory friendly, meaning more homes to pick from. That does not mean price friendly market. Our inventory is still so low at the moment and demand is still so high that prices are strongly stable. For those of you waiting for the crash here in San Diego, we would need inventory to 14x in like the next 6 months for that to be the case. Only then would we see inventory outlap demand. Now get this, NAR, the National Association of Realtors, posted that about 30% of homes were all cash sales. Well, when I pulled the data for San Diego, even with elevated prices, we're not far off from that national average. In the month of February, 26% of home sales were all cash. And year to date, 25% of home sales are all cash. All cash offers are not an uncommon thing. I had 2 condos last month that both sold all cash, both near the $500,000 mark on price. One way to interpret this is that consumers are finding San Diego real estate a very safe place to put their money. Now let's shift to the topic of pricing and home values. 2022 was the peak for San Diego, and this was before interest rates started to climb so aggressively. We are safely back to that same pricing in the market, and on the detached side of the market, where it actually exceeded those prices from May of 2022. The detached home median price was $1 million back then. Fast forward to February of this year, the median price for a detached home now, $1,035,000. It's up about 35 grand. So interest rates hurt us at first, but we're recovering from it. So despite elevated interest rates, veggie burritos costing $11, Girl Scout cookies going for $6 a box, and homeowner insurance rates climbing, home values are still on the rise, though slowly, which is good, believe it or not. And these are not the only places where San Diegans are feeling the impact of rising costs. Zillow is reporting that the median cost of rent for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath detached house is almost $4,500 a month, which is up $300 from this time last year. So let's do some price comparison there. A 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and we'll go with the median price of $1,035,000, which is extremely reasonable. Anytime I get a first-time buyer that wants to buy a detached home in the central area of San Diego, I prep them to spend about $1 million. If we take that price with property taxes, insurance, and let's say a 6.575 interest rate, and of course at the cost of a 20% down payment, that's about $207,000, payment comes out at about $6,700. So I did go high on homeowners insurance. So let's say best case scenario, $6,500 a month for mortgage. Well, follow me through on this. Almost $210,000 for a down payment with a $6,500 mortgage payment in comparison to paying $4,500 in rent. And that is why our rental market is so strong here. The fact of the matter is that only a small portion of San Diegans can actually buy, and all the more reason why owning here for the long term is such a cash mine. Rents will only go up, and because the barrier to entry to ownership is so challenging, our values do great as well. And with San Diego ranking 5th hottest city in the nation, that only supports the idea that our values are going to only continue to grow, making it all the more of a benefit to anyone who owns a home here in San Diego. I get that it's tough to do so. In the long run though, it works out. If you're able to buy now, but you are waiting the market out while continuing to pay market rent, chances are pretty tough. How much rent are you going to pay while you wait the market out? And when the market does correct, will it correct enough to offset all the rent you paid into someone else's mortgage? It's tough to imagine the numbers working out favorably here. Now, if it's the case that you got a really good deal and your rent is super low, then you are better suited to wait the market out and take your chances. Now, that's it for this video. If you're thinking about buying or selling, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm Carl Kyler, your San Diego realtor. I'll see you next video.